Hi everyone! In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 brownie recipes. 2 of the brownies are raw and 1 is baked. All the recipes are plant-based, paleo friendly, and I will also share with you substitutions if you're on a low-carb or a keto diet. Let's start with the raw brownies. I have shared this particular recipe on my channel in the past, so if you have seen it, just fast forward to the other recipes. The dry ingredients are finely ground almond flour, cocoa or cacao powder if you want to keep the brownies truly raw, and a pinch of sea salt. Mix all the ingredients until combined. Next are soaked cashews. Mine are soaked and dehydrated, and maple syrup. If you're on a low-carb diet, you can use any other nuts and yacon or yacon syrup or any other low-carb sweetener. Blend the nuts either in a high-speed blender or a food processor until smooth. If you don't have either, you can still make this recipe, just use nut butter instead of whole nuts. Pour the cashew maple mixture into the dry ingredients and mix until well combined. The mixture will be really thick, almost like a dough. Line a baking dish with a piece of parchment paper. It can be any size. Here I'm using 7.5 by 5.5 inch pan, and press the brownie mixture evenly. Now that the brownie base is done, let's move on to the chocolate layer, consisting of cocoa powder, liquid sweetener, and coconut oil. Whisk until completely smooth, and then pour the chocolate onto the brownie layer. Let the brownies rest on a flat, even surface until the chocolate is firm enough to slice. The second raw brownie recipe is with dates, so unfortunately this is the only recipe I don't have a low-carb alternative for. The main ingredient here is walnut flour. So add the walnuts into a food processor or a high-speed blender and pulse until the walnuts are finely ground. The next ingredients are cocoa powder, hemp seeds, and a pinch of sea salt. Process for a little bit until all the dry ingredients are well combined. Last come measure dates, which will bind the brownies together. The mixture will look like cake crumbs, but when you press it between your fingers, it should easily hold together. If it doesn't or it seems too dry, pulse the mixture a little more. Transfer the brownie mixture into a parchment paper lined dish and press it into an even layer. The top layer builds on the first raw brownie recipe, so cocoa powder, liquid sweetener and coconut oil, and to that we will add coconut cream to make more of a ganache. Stir until well combined and then spread the ganache on top of the brownie layer. Smooth the ganache with a spatula and then let the brownies set before cutting. Last are baked brownies. The main ingredient here are hazelnuts. Add the hazelnuts into a food processor and process them into a fine meal. Next is cocoa powder, coconut sugar. You can use any low-carb powdered sweetener except for extracts, which are just too concentrated, and a pinch of sea salt. Mix until well combined. For the liquid ingredients, I'm using hazelnut butter, which I made myself, coconut oil. I didn't have enough, so I actually added more hazelnut butter to compensate for the fat content, and a flax egg. Mix all the ingredients until well combined and then add some real chocolate. I'm using dark shaved chocolate, but any chocolate will work here. Transfer the brownie mixture into a parchment paper lined dish and smooth the top with a spatula. Bake the brownies at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. And that's it. 3 brownie recipes that are chocolatey, rich, chewy, and fudgy. We've got 2 types of brownies here, raw and baked. And I just can't believe how much chocolate I've gone through these past few weeks because I had good batches and I had failed batches. But I have to say that even the failed batches, like Tana would eat them and he would be like, oh, this is really good. So now the good batches must be even better.
Indeed. Okay, here we go. Keep up with me here. The baked brownie we have here has the proper texture that you want. It's like any brownie you've ever eaten, right? That delicious, chewy, more baked crust that you find on like the top layer, that top millimeter. Mm-hmm. You just bite into it. It's like, oh yeah. It's kind of like sticky and chewy at the same time. Got it. It's right where it should be. So good. It doesn't have the sweetness level that I like, but that may be different for you. I like sweet brownies. It like approaches more of a dark chocolate sweetness. So it's like, if I want it right here, it approaches it and it just kind of doesn't get there. And I'm waiting for it, but it never gets quite there. It's still sweet, just not as what I would like. Then we move to the raw brownies with dates. Mm-hmm. These ones have an advantage because there's 2 layers. There's a thick chocolate layer and then there's the brownie base. So my favorite are the raw versions because of that. There's more texture, there's more to eat. The flavor of this one, the date brownie, there's definitely subtle hints of the dates in there. It's got more of a fruity flavor. It's more of a heavy sweetness. So it's right where it should be in terms of sweetness, in that range that I like. So that's good. The texture's great. Like this one, there's very little difference actually, surprisingly, between the baked and the raw in terms of texture.
Yes.
So that's a plus. This brownie has the cashew and maple syrup combo going for it. It's a little bit more malleable texture-wise, just a little bit, but the sweetness is lighter and it has a longer sustain, which I think is why I like it the best. And it's got those two layers, the chocolate and the brownie base. I think that the cashews stay out of the way of the cocoa better than the dates. It's up to you, like whatever your personal preference is. If you're looking for more fruity flavor, you'll find that with the dates in that brownie. If you're more of a traditional, I want just my normal brownie kind of flavor texture, this is going to be better, the cashew maple syrup brownie.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.